Hello dudes and dudettes, this is LPWJH11 bringing you another video. This one is a Empire Total War video, and today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be replicating the Battle of Wabasch River, better known as St. Clair's defeat. The two forces that are opposing each other is the United States, and against the United States is the Western Confederation, although in this game they are being used by the Huron faction. This battle was very shortly after the beginning of This was in 1791, that's when the battle was fought. On November 3rd, I believe the exact date was, but this battle, the Western Confederacy, which was an Indian nation, had already defeated several expeditions that had been sent out into what was then the Northwest, which was to later become the states of Michigan, Ohio, other areas like that. And these defeats that were caused upon these American forces eventually provoked a response from George Washington. He gave command of the forces that was going to teach these Indians what's what, was given to the command of Arthur St. Clair. Now, supposedly he was a hero in the Revolution, but the only thing that he really ever did that actually benefited the Revolution was by basically being the one that was credited for devising the plan of taking Princeton, defeating the British at Princeton. Beyond that, I mean, this was actually a pretty poor commander. He's the one that actually lost Fort Ticonderoga back to the British during Burgoyne's invasion of the north of New York and Vermont areas. They had an army of about 1,000 facing off against an army of about 1,100 Indian warriors, and here they come, all those Indians looking from the viewpoint of the militia. Most of the American army was comprised of militia, and Arthur St. Clair he did not like the prospect of having them be in the army, because of the fact that militia had always been very bad when it came to holding their ground. Here we go. Firing musket volleys. Love it, love it, love it. So most of his army, about 600 men, were comprised of these militia units, while only about 400 men were actually regular troops, or regular soldiers. And in actual history, the militia broke very quickly in the battle, and it led to the regulars being routed. And by the end of the battle, there was less than 70 soldiers that escaped the battle. It was the worst defeat by Americans to Indians. Custer's last stand has nothing on him. Aw, poor Indians. Really close. Firing into their backs. Beautiful. I don't need to refuse my flank or anything, so we're just going to look at it from the Indian point of view. There we go. Whoopie holler. closest hand-to-hand combat. Now, for this battle setup, what I've done is most of these Indian troops, I made them really experienced units, while the militia aren't. And I'm being flanked by the bowmen. That's fine. We're going to turn them a little bit so that they can face them. While the American regulars, they're very heavily experienced, so they should do well once this line breaks. Basically, I'm not all that... I don't care if it follows how the battle followed originally. And what are you doing getting out of line? Because, you know, in history they actually lost, and I like being historically correct. Oh. Toggle the canister. Gonna retreat them back there, and then up against his regular troops. Oh, and they're going to be hit by canister. They're being pursued by the Indians. No! And what has happened is actually very similar to what's going on right now. They actually flanked the artillery pieces, and they mowed down the gunners with their with arrows until they had to abandon the guns, and the regulars were the only ones who were able to hold on through any form of defense. There's actually a lot of women and children that were also in the camp as well, and actually the militia broke. When the militia broke, there's actually women that went up to them and said, and basically shamed them into going back into combat. Most of the minutes right there. Look at these guys. Beautiful. Now, as you can see, what they've done is they've kind of they've flanked me on this side. My real concern is that they would be able to get behind me. You can actually kind of see them right now trying to accomplish that with bowmen. But the battle is pretty much in my favor, so. Them back to their guns. There we go. Point blank volleys.
If your line infantry are about to be charged by cavalry, make sure they are stationary and preferably
oh, they're doing it.
That way they can
you see that they're moving around my flanks so that they can fire into my rear. But fortunately for me, I can move these troops back like this. I'm not worried about my guns, and in fact, I'm gonna switch it over. Well, actually, they've got the right type of ammunition. Yeah, so I'm going to run up these militiamen to hold my back. There they go. We can get rid of that. I forget a lot of times to take care of that, of the little notice bar, for the advisory bar. So it'll have those little advisories about what to do when there's cavalry and whatnot. Here we go. You can just see. Let's see if we can look at. Yeah. Oh, just look at that. Those arrows coming down on them. But that's fine because we got those militiamen right there. Let's see them return fire. There you go. Toggle fire in advanced mode on these guys. Got him right there. There we go. You see what they did there? They fired their volley, and then they reloaded, and then they advanced. It's actually kind of fun to watch. And what it is that it's not the whole line advancing, it's the back rank moving forward, and then the next rank moving forward as well. Leapfrogging. And yes. Heroic victory. I like that a lot. So yeah, basically this is different than the way that the battle was originally fought. Like I said, originally it was a complete disaster, and the Indians lost less than 1,000 men total. Well, less than 100, I should say. But numbers are a little bit different because the Indians only had about 1,100 men there, while the Americans had only 1,000. But basically, they're about the same. And my losses were 459 men. There was 2 regiments of the Minutemen that did run away during the battle. But I think that this was a pretty successful defense of my men. And the Indians lost a great deal more than that. But yeah, let's see who was the one that killed the most men. The line infantry, 157 killed. Let's see who lost the most. The Minutemen, 115. No wonder they ran away. Alright. There you go. It was a good battle. Like, subscribe, comment, and we shall see you guys next time.